Okay, so today we're going to be working on exponents. And when we talk about exponents, I'm just going to start out with just a little bit of vocabulary. This is what an exponent looks like. We read this as 8 to the third power, or because it's the third power, we can also read this as 8 cubed. In this situation, 8 is my base, so I'm going to write down base right here next to this arrow pointing to the 8. My base is my big number, and so they both start with B, base, and big. So that's how I remember that my base is my big number. That is always used, it's my factor when we do the multiplication. The 3, the little number, is what we call an exponent. The exponent tells us how many times we'll multiply the factor. So in this case, the factor is 8. The 3 tells us we're going to multiply 8 3 times. So 8 to the third power is equal to 8 times 8 times 8. And we know that 8 times 8 is 64. And then we have to do 64 times 8 for our final answer. So I'm going to do that just up here to the side. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus 3 is 51. So 8 times 8 times 8, or 8 to the third power, is equal to 512. So down below here it says write the expression in exponential form, write with an exponent. That's what it means by exponential form. So we've got our base in this situation is 3 because it's the factor, it's the number being multiplied. And so I'm going to make 3 my big number, my base. And now I just have to count how many times it's being multiplied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this in exponential form is 3 to the 5th power. This next one, 7 is my factor, so 7 is my base, it's my big number. And the exponent says how many times I multiplied my base. In this case, I only multiplied 1 2/7, so this is 7 to the 2nd power. Or sometimes we would call that 7 squared. When we have it to the 2nd power, we can say 7 squared or 7 to the 2nd power. At this point, I would challenge you to pause the video and try this last one on your own and see how you do. Alright, so hopefully you tried this one and you're checking your answer now. My base is 5. It's my big number because it's the factor being multiplied over and over again. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 5s. So this is read as 5 to the 8th power. 8 is my exponent. It's the little number up above. If we keep going down here at the bottom, write the expression as repeated multiplication. Now we're going to do the opposite of what we just did. So 2 to the 5th power is equal to, my base is 2, that's what's going to be multiplied over and over again. And I'm going to multiply it 5 times because my exponent says 5, which means we're multiplying this 5 times. 5 to the 1st power means that there's just one 5. So 5 to the 1st power is just 5, that's all we have to write. At this point, I would challenge you to try 4 to the 7th on your own and come back and check the video after you've paused and tried it. Okay, so hopefully you tried this one. We know that 4 is our base, and we know that 4 is being multiplied 7 times because 7 is my exponent. And so we should have written 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And you can use the multiplication symbol or the dot to show multiplication. Either one works. And then the very last thing that we're going to do down here, find the value of the expression or solve. 4 to the 2nd power, we're actually going to write this out as 4 times 4. What a lot of people do is they get in a hurry and they all of a sudden want to do 4 times 2 for this exponent. And this is not 4 times 2. This is 4 times 4. It's 4 times itself twice. And 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And so the value of the expression 4 squared is equal to 16. 5 to the 4th power is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And we might have to do a little bit of work out to the side here. I know that 5 times 5 is 25. I know that 25 times 5, let's double check here, is 125. And then 125 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, or 5 to the 4th power, is equal to 625. Next, we've got 6 to the 3rd power. 6 to the 3rd power is 6 times 6 times 6. I know that 6 times 6 is 36, but I don't know 36 times 6, so I'm going to do it off to the side. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. So 6 to the 3rd power is 216. This last one is a special case, 9 to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is always just 1. Next year you'll get into why that is. This year, any number to the 0 power equals 1. And that's all that you need to know right now. So any number to the 0 power is equal to 1.